Good morning, guys. Let's jump into it. So first off, let's talk about yesterday. Um, the where's Tuesday? Tuesday market open was somewhere around here. So you can see this is kind of how we played it. It's actually interesting. In our live room, we waited the first 15 minutes, which took us about here. Once we saw this wick bounce off the 50, and I let this one go, then I saw this next one right around here when we broke this level again, right? We had entered a call, rode the wave up, and then I told them with the resistance level, right? We were closing really fast, so just in and out like $400 just in this little move here. And then we closed it, came back down. I'm like, man, we have another wick off the 50. Let's jump in again, right? Boom, another $400. Came down, saw another wick off the 50. Boom, another $400. Done for the day. It was so crazy. Like that was probably one of the fastest like done for the days that we did. We did get this rejection line off of here. This is kind of the line that I have been pulling. So you got the 1, 2, 3. Kind of 4 hits there. I was actually, I'll be honest with you guys, I was surprised because when I saw this head and shoulder play out, it was a pretty easy entry, even though we were super bearish to see this reversal because you got a bullish candle there, plus you got it off of prior support. It was a higher low, right? And so that just caused us to just ride the wave up. And then as we were coming up, through here, we had a crazy wick up. So this crazy wick, this was due to the fact that we started to break this trend line, right? And so people just start FOMO buying in, and then hedge funds, market makers kick in and say nope, not ready yet. So we lost it, which caused the pullback here, kind of overnight, right? And so we kind of ranged here. We've double hit this bottom there. And if you look out, zoom out of it, I mean, really, we're just ranging from that 420, 450 or so to the 420. So, to me, the biggest thing I want to watch today, yesterday, in this fall, we did break this heat map, right? And it tried to come up and break it, couldn't break it, and so we rejected back down below. As this begins to squeeze down, this is going to be a big thing to watch. If you're in the room, you guys know that I'm lately watching this a little better to help you guys stay on trend. But if, this line right here is going to kind of help guide you a little bit. It's going to show that, hey, the line's got strength, or hey, it's weakening, right? And you can see here it's got some strength, and you can see it's starting to weaken. You might want to be careful. Okay, we got some strength back in again, right? And so here you have the same thing, right? We had our strength. It started to weaken a little bit, obviously, with the pump here. Once it went red again, there we had some nice down, but we are back to potential strengthening, right? Which is making it a little more bullish potentially. So the key thing here, what's interesting is notice how we're still just riveting on this trend line here. And so there's definitely a possibility that we could come down a little bit further on the market open to retest that 421.50 or 60 range and then come back up. But I want to see a clear break above this trend line and then kind of a higher high, higher low situation formulate. But if we get above this, 424 to flip this back into that green trend, I mean, it's just going to be upside from there. So I'm still staying call mostly. Yesterday, most of the day, we took all calls. We didn't really ride the puts. There's just, when you zoom out, I mean, there's too much gap to still fill on the way up here. But when I say I'm staying call or I'm bullish, it doesn't mean that we can't come back and retest this 418 range. You still have to use your TA. It just means that you might not take the put. You might not ride that put. You might just be patient, wait for the entry, boom, wait for the next call setup, and then you pump it up from there, right? So just means be patient. So, but we do have some definite bullishness coming into the market. The VIX, it's trying to double bottom here, and that's what's been kind of driving us downward a little bit. But I think we might be getting a little bit of a pop here soon. The other thing too is the DXY. I mean, you look at it, we have the trend line here. You got 1, 2, 3 points that it's trying to reject off of there. So if the DXY continues to reject off of that trend line and can break back below this 200 here, then we're going to definitely see some more upside. So you can kind of see it on the 1 hour chart a little clearer here. So you can see the 200s all the way down to this level there. So Um, let's look at. I wanted to take a look at Tesla real fast too. Interesting enough, so we were actually talking about this inverse head and shoulder, right? Which did play out if you were popping that scalp. So that did play out really well. And like we talked about, typically when that breaks out, it's just going to reclaim the equal side of where the resistance is first, which it did. And then, we ended up retracing back. So still some strength in there. I'd like to see Tesla get a little bit of continued push up like this, and then possibly, create that higher low to break north on that. So I'm only doing that because I did that deeper coverage yesterday in Tesla, so I wanted to see how that played out, which played out like we thought. So most important thing we want to look at is the VIX, obviously. You can see we have support around that around 1886. Currently it's in a short on the 2 minute, which obviously, remember, we're inverse. Very bearish here. We had that short, but it's again, there's some support here, so we don't want to ignore that. Let's look at the EMAs. So from a VIX standpoint, we are holding above the 200 on the 1 hour, but it is below the 21 SMA. So if this were to come up and squeeze and break above that, right, then we're going to see another drop in the market. If we break below this, then we're going to see that pump. Dirt Bike Mike, these are all custom indicators we have from BotJock. I have quite a bit of them on here, so it looks like it's a little more noisy, right? But we have our gap fill sniper. The gap fill sniper kind of helps you keep in range. Plus, it tells you if we're becoming too over bullish or over bearish, which is pretty sick. It also outlines some gaps that need to be filled. And then we have the zone tracker, which just kind of helps you identify support and resistance. Plus, it gives you that 200 EMA. It also has this kind of cool trend line, right? When it's blue, we're aiming up. When it flips orange, right, then we're bearish. So it kind of helps keep you on track. The Bollinger one, just kind of, it gets the Bollinger bands. I don't think that the VIX has the bands, yeah, so it just does the 21 SMA for the Bollinger. And then the Harmonic Tracker Pro is the one that's calling the shorts and the longs. It's kind of cool because I actually overlay this with VIX, and you can almost trade the SPY inverse to what the VIX does. So when the SPY throws a short, go long, right? Go call. When the SPY throws a call, right, or a long, then you go put. So it's actually kind of funny. I've actually done that a few times. But yeah, so they're all custom. This is our divergence hunter. This is for people that have struggle how to see divergence coming, and you can see the divergence starting to build up there. We did get a little bit of a push, right, but the divergence played out. So yeah, we go over all this in our room too if you wanted to check it out. You can check us out. The link's in my bio there, botjock.com. So let's go over to the dollar again. Again, this is the key level I want to watch. If we get a break above that, it's going to run back to this level. If we continue to stay below this trend, it's just going to range like this, which could create just a continued range for us today, right? So we want to find that range. If you're in the room, I already put out the levels here, plus our live trader settings. For those new, this is our automation that we do. We create indicators that will actually automate trades through options. Another thing too, again, I want to touch on briefly is if you guys are looking to simplify options trading, we built something extremely sick. Link in bio. That's funny. I'll take a look at this. So we built something extremely sick. You can literally add our technology to the site here. We call it an ATA, Automated Trading Assistant. You can create your options trades directly from our website. You just need to put in the symbol that you want. You put in the volume of contracts, what direction you're going, the percent strike price you want away, which it'll tell you what it is right there, and you select the date you want the contracts to expire. I mean, it's so simple. And then when you hit create trade, we actually have a kind of a backdoor code that Tasty Trade gave us that allows these trades to initiate really fast. So literally, you don't have to wait for the fill orders, right? It gives you priority on it. So the moment you're hitting that create trade, within a second it's open, and then once it refreshes, you hit close, it closes. So super easy to trading options like that. So if you guys are interested, check it out. But link in bio, you crack me up, man. I better get some likes on there. Hold on, how many likes you did? That's a lot. No, let's we have some time. We opened the room at 9:15, so we got a little bit of time here. Let me look at the Nvidia. You know what's funny is I noticed that you always ask for Nvidia ever since that big pump. But remember I told you a while ago, I said Nvidia's holding, but I would just be careful, right? I mean, and since we had the pump, right, it's been in a nice uptrend. You know, you can see the lines I had here, but you know, you can see, I mean, there's definitely been some ranging that it's holding. The thing about Nvidia, we do have still some potential downside for Nvidia, but the thing I will say is that it is continuing to hold some support above the higher level where it pumped, right? So this was the initial pump. You had your higher low, higher low, higher low, kind of an equal low, but it did end up rebounding off of it. You can take just something simple if you're just doing some scalps and just put a little downtrend like that, you know, stretch this sucker out. And then just play this range for now, right? And then if you're up here taking your puts, set a tight stop loss right above there. So if it breaks above, because if it breaks above, it's going to run. And if it comes down this way, right, and you're taking your calls to try to get these bounces, just set a stop loss just below that trend line. The things you don't want to do when you're trading anything really is you don't want to take that trade right in here, because then your stop loss is going to be too far. So it's going to be a big loss, and your risk to your reward is it's not really worth it. So you want to remember always try to have a larger reward compared to your risk. So gap fill. Gap fill's actually, well, this is a 1 hour, but it's showing that we might have a little bit of a too much bullish. So it's showing a possible bearish gap fill coming. So if you're gonna stay call, I would just wait for a little bit of a retracement. You can kind of see here, right? It pumped up to about this level here, and then we had a pretty nasty retracement before the push up. So just be patient on when you enter that, even based on this. Zone tracker Bollinger. I mean, we're still below the 200 actually. Yeah, on the 1 hour. So if we get a break above 436.86, I would say feel free to take your calls. Otherwise, I'd wait till you get back down to here again, around 415, 420. Look how I mean, this one was a pretty small scalp right there, but look at this long, short, long. That thing killed it. I don't even trade Nvidia, that guys, but I probably should because this thing's been pretty accurate. Look at this one too. Long, short. This long was not the greatest, but it had a little bit of room, right? There's still some room to scalp in there. You just gotta set tight stop losses. What's up, man? But yeah, so that's my thoughts on Nvidia. I already did this buy. You have to watch the recording for that, buddy. Let's I already kind of did Tesla, but I'll show you again what my thoughts are. So Tesla, if you really zoom out, right, this was that heavy support line that we were talking about. It did bounce off of here. It did create that lower low right there. So we could see some further upside from Tesla. I would just really watch this 200 EMA right here. Somewhere around 235, you're likely to get a rejection if we do get that continued pump up. I see this as an inverse head and shoulder, so it could be our reversal. So look for that higher low. If we do get a pump here, look for the higher high, right? Then wait for that higher low again, and then capture that call right up. But for now we're still below the 21 SMA, so we have not flipped that quite yet. So we definitely could see some potential downside. But if the market opens today and we push up north like this, we're gonna get that higher high. Gap fills pretty balanced. We're in the middle, nothing crazy. Harmonics called along right there, which would have played out a nice little scalp there. And we're still holding that higher low, so hasn't called a short yet from it. What's the other one you had? Microsoft? All right, I'll do Microsoft, and then I gotta run. Gotta get my room ready. But you guys can come hang out. I mean, we're always trading in the room. These lines are from prior. Ooh, Microsoft had a crazy push. Look at that. Nice. This is also it's an interesting thing. You can see the volume picked up right around here, right, as it came through. I'm sure that it had some kind of news or something to push that. I don't follow Microsoft a lot. I still chart that through just because obviously it's important to know for the SPY. I will say Microsoft, hit up here and rejected, which is literally the exact same point you can see right there. Literally hit it to a T. If you look at that, literally to a T. So this is a good line to have here. As you continue to see this bump its head, right, you can take those puts off of that. Just set stop losses above here, because if we break this, it's going to come up to the next level to retest that. So, but that was a good push from Microsoft yesterday. Pretty good push. Awesome. Let's take a look at the harmonics, see how that called that. Oh, it errored out on me. Anytime that, if you get that little trading, there's a lot of data in here, so sometimes you get that exclamation mark. It's just TradingView having trouble calculating it all, so you got to reset it. Looks like it called it. Yeah, I called it right off of this push right here. I did flip call in there. But you can see just tons and tons of resistance in here. So, and this is obviously our support level, so not out of the woods. Like I always tell you guys, if you are one that was in a call and you saw this consolidation and you played the breakout, and you are up today, I would close that sucker, or at least put a tight trail. But I would not continue to chase this. You don't want to take longs on these candles. You want to take the long calls, right? When you start to see that bullish nature off of the consolidation is what you want to do. So with that tighter stop loss, because think about it again, the 200's down here. If you mute this one, 200's all the way down here. And so if you were to enter a call and you were to set a stop loss even below these trend lines, right, assuming you might find some support in this trend line, I mean, that's a pretty hefty loss if that gets hit. So be careful. BTC's holding, man. It's, ever since we had our crazy wick, continuation push, hit that 35.3 or so, and then it's just been consolidating. So with some strength, which is so wild. You can see the Bollingers, right? We opened up, and now we're starting to tighten. They are starting to widen a little bit, so we might see some further upside from Bitcoin, even though we've already seen quite a bit of upside. Even the gap fill's not too far, from the recent, so it's not really calling any kind of pullback on the 2 minute. Actually, let's go to the 1 hour. The 1 hour is showing bearish, right? It's showing potential bearish gap fill, but yeah, I would not take the longs up here. I would wait for pullbacks, right? Try to find a trend line. I will say though, interesting enough, if you look here, right, you can see you do have somewhat, if you took even if you took this wick right here, right, you can see kind of the bullish pennant that is forming off of this. That it's actually really close to break. So I have not been trading Bitcoin, of course. I have been doing it spot because I'm in the US and the SEC loves to screw us. But yeah, so this is a trend line I would draw, guys, if you want to catch a reversal on this. As long as it stays above this trend line here, the localized trend line, then we're just going to continue to see that upside. If we break below this trend line, right, then that's where we'll see some pretty nasty downside, at least to come down and retest these lower levels. So if you're following Bitcoin, that's where I would go with it. Man, TradingView is having issues calculating today. Let's see if it calculates this. It's a lot of data. Like, our code is pretty solid on it. So 15 minute, it's calling that long. Let's see if we can get the hour to pop. And for some reason it does not like the hour. There it goes. So we have the long that played out here, but you can see we're starting to get a little double top, a lot of resistance in here. So I would just watch for that breakout. So, but a key thing is going to be watching this VIX. That's going to be a very important thing to do today. So that's all I got, guys. I'm going to jump off. If you guys want to trade with us, just come on in. You can do it for free. Just text an email. Just go to botjock.com. This is our what we call Discord. It's not Discord, but my disclaimer to everybody who's watching is we don't have a Discord because Discord has nothing but scammers that try to impersonate the people running the Discord, and we've had many people in the past get scammed, and so we got tired of it, so we created our own. This is 100% secure. It's only monitored within us. We don't do direct messages between each other because we do not want people to get scammed. Everything's super transparent in our room. Again, all you need is an email just to check this out. If you guys are interested in coming into the room, if you go to the link in my bio, if you're on TikTok, you're going to go to itsbotjock.com/access. You can book a meeting with me, and I'll be happy to show you everything that we have to offer with BotJock. And at the end of that meeting, if once we get it all concluded, you'll get an email with a coupon for 75% off your first month. So that way you can come on in and check it out. Get 1 month to try it. I mean, our basic membership is $47 to use the tools that we have. If you wanted to use that coupon on the higher one, the premium one, right, I think it's $247, which gives you like all access to everything. So but 75% off of $47. I mean, you skip a coffee for a day, you'd be good. Although I get it, skipping coffee's rough. So I'm gonna let y'all go though. Appreciate it. If you guys are in the room, check out the market insights. I did put that out today. If these are out every single day, but these are my insights for today on what we are pulling, the data, and my live trader settings. So I know that I want to caution you guys again in the room. This is for the community, even though I know we are on TikTok too. We're still bearish, but there is a lot of bullish sentiment. So there's a difference there, and this is what I'm trying to get people in the room to understand. A lot of data I put out is based on true market contracts. It's what is in the exchanges or the brokerages right now. And just because the market is overly bearish does not mean that we cannot flip and become bullish. Remember, it'll always change. So when you start to see the bullish sentiment kick in, that tells you we may start to see some reversals. Now, it doesn't mean that we're going to reverse right away. You may say, okay, we're bearish, but the breakout sentiment is looking more bullish. So I'm going to wait for a pullback to enter that trade before I jump in. And if you miss the train, you miss the train. Like don't FOMO into it. But I was doing this exercise yesterday with the room when we were talking, but let's say if I were to say this is bullish sentiment, you don't want to enter a call here and then have it pull back like that, right? Let's say right here. Then it comes back up like this, right? Creates its kind of higher high from here. Then it creates another higher low, retest of this support. Then it comes up and creates a higher high. This is typical market movement. Then it comes back and retests resistance as support, creates the higher high, squeezes this right here, gets a little bit of a break, retests as support, and then breaks north. So when I say to have the bullish sentiment, people get confused and they either jump in right away or they jump in there. If I take a call right here and it goes down and it goes up, I made profit. But I only made half of the profit that I could have made on the full stretch here. So you want to wait, let it pull back. And if you miss this oscillation, guess what? I'm going to tell you right now, look at the market. It does it all day. If you miss one, it's okay. But if you're constantly taking calls here or you're taking calls here, I mean, I literally see this all the time where they'll take a call here, it'll be negative most of the day. Then, oh man, I got out of that with $100. I'm so excited. I mean, congrats, but it's not the greatest trade, right? Then they'll do it again. Oh, I jumped right back in, thinking we were just going to explode, and then we pulled back, and oh, I got out another $100. Congrats, right? But the problem is, although we anticipate this, the trends can shift. And so one of those times you're going to enter there, and it's going to come down. It's going to break the support line, and bam, and you're just wrecked. I mean, it's going to destroy you. So when I say I'm taking calls mostly, or I'm being more bullish sentiment in a bearish market, I'm waiting for these pullbacks. Then I want to see that confirmed support, and then I'm aiming for that higher high is what you're looking for. So a little tidbit for you guys on TikTok there. There's a lot of what we talk about in the room too while we're trading. I share my screen. Our room's completely transparent. I'm not one of those. I mean, you guys see I share my screen here. I'm not one that just has you stare at me and talking about it and then flip-flop as the market flip-flops, right? I mean, if I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I tell you. If I'm wrong, I will analyze it with you to figure out why I'm wrong, right? And we'll anticipate that and continue to improve. So if you're new in the room, or you're new on TikTok watching or YouTube, I think our room's a good room for you, because we really teach down to the basics. I have about 4 to 5 years of trading experience. CK's got about, I think, 30 now, 28 or something crazy. But my point is I have a great understanding of it all now, but I've also been in your shoes in a recent time that I can actually help kind of bring it to your level to understand and how to work through it. So, but I appreciate you guys' time. I'm going to open up the room here in about 3 to 5 minutes. I will see you guys.